Hi everyone, I'm Yuki. What if a record that's supposed to be impossible to change got overturned anyway by group consensus? In 2016, that actually happened on Ethereum. It's called the DAO hack. A single mistake in the order of two lines drained about 3.6 million Ether, and the world was forced into a choice: split Ethereum in two. Today, I'll walk through this site and tell the whole story in under 10 minutes, in a way that makes sense even if you are brand new to crypto. First, what was the DAO? In one line, an investment fund with no CEO and no board. Every rule lived in a smart contract in code. In 2016, more than 11,000 people pooled their money, about 12.7 million Ether, worth roughly $150 million at the time, and they voted using tokens on where to invest. Here is the key idea. With no manager, the code is the only authority, which also means if the code has a bug, that bug becomes the rule, and that sets up everything that happens next. Now, the main event. The attack. It's called re-entrancy. Sounds intimidating, but a bank teller analogy makes it quick. Let me play it. The attacker asks, withdraw 100 Ether. The teller checks the list, balance 100. All good. But here is the fatal order. The teller hands over the cash first. The instant the money lands, the attacker's fallback, a piece of code that runs automatically, fires and shouts again. Before the list is updated, the list still says 100, so they withdraw again. And again. And again. Look, the list said 100, but 4 times that, 400 Ether is gone, and the vault is empty. Is the order really the whole cause? Let's flip it. Now, the teller zeroes the list first. Then, sends. When the attacker tries to re-enter, the list is already zero, no balance, so rejected. The exact same attack now fails, purely from swapping the order, so the order was the root cause. For the curious, I've tucked the real Solidity code and how the fallback function works into these drop-downs, like this. And to be accurate, in the real attack, that vault wasn't fully emptied, and 1/3 of the fund's 3.6 million Ether was siphoned into a child DAO. It crashed from over $12 to under 13, and the community was thrown into crisis. So, what do you do about the stolen funds? The answer on the table was a hard fork, rewinding the ledger itself, and the community split right down the middle. The risk camp said, a bug isn't intended behavior. We should make over 11,000 victims whole. The immutability camp said, the cause result is final. Rewind once and you've set a precedent to seize anyone's fund. Their mottos: human judgment can intervene versus code is law. What does forking actually do? Every balance before the split is copied to both chains. If you held 10 Ether, after you hold 10 Ether and 10 ETC. The only difference is what happens to the stolen DAO funds. On one chain, they are moved into a recovery contract. On the other, left untouched. On July 20th, 2016, at block 1,920,000, the chain split in two. Around 85 to 89% of the bots backed the fork. The chain that ruined became the Ethereum we use today. It restored the funds to victims and grew into the dominant chain. The one that refused to rewind, keeping the ledger exactly as it was, became Ethereum Classic. On a chain, the hacker kept their ETC. Its smaller, principal chain that held the line on code is low, no exceptions. And there's no settled right answer here. The DAO left behind more than a loss. 4 things really. 1. Code audits and formal verification became standard, launching the crypto security industry itself. 2. In 2017, the US SEC ruled DAO tokens were securities, a foundation for regulation ever since. 3. Re-entrancy defenses became DeFi design basics. And 4. The question, must a ledger never change, still sits at the heart of crypto's philosophy. And the fix itself. I put a developer view right here. It's a single change, swap the order of send and update the balance. Zero the balance first, and any re-entry gets rejected. That pattern has a name, checks effects interactions. So to recap, one mistake in the order of 2 lines drained about 3.6 million Ether and forced a historic decision to rewrite a supposedly immutable ledger by human hands. Out of that came Ether, ETC, and the safety culture crypto runs on today. Is code the law or are we? I'll let you sit with that one. The link to this site is in the description. If you got something out of it, a like and subscribe really help. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.